Welcome to the Gaming Zone. I'm your host, Robot Spacer, and Unseeker Crush is busy at the moment, but she'll be joining us later, I think. Hello, we're going to play some King's Quest 6. I forgot to get out my maps. Let's see. We left Alexander in the swamp. He's been hanging out in the swamp for the past week with his friends Bump and Stick and Rotten Tomato. Hello, Valis. Good to see you. We now have a cup of swamp ooze, which I think is useful for one of the spells that we can make. Let's see. Let's consult. Magic paint spell. We need a cup of swamp ooze, which we now have. Oh, right. River Styx water. That's a bit of a problem. And then we do have what might be a black horse feather. It's a large black feather. We don't know where it's from, but it seems like a reasonable guess. But that River Styx water is a little tricky. I don't know about that one. We've also been given an invitation to the catacombs, by which I mean, if we ever go back to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, we'll be thrown in the catacombs by force. But we can choose when to have that happen. Hey, 6-7, good to see you. That might be what we do first. I feel like surely we're not prepared to go in the catacombs, but we might be able to learn something in there, figure out what we need to get through there successfully, maybe. What else? Oh, if we do succeed in getting through the catacombs, and I believe defeating the Minotaur is our ultimate goal there, we'll get to meet the Oracle, which is always a good time. Just looking at my notes here. Yeah, we got lots of little things to do, but don't know how to do them. We found a torn piece of paper with the word love on it, and then later we found I think it was a book of riddles that had the same border pattern. So love is presumably the answer to some riddle we'll come across at some point. We did cross off. We got our hole. Our portable hole creature. Yeah, so let's get into it. Make room for my maps here. Okay, yeah, this is actually where we are right now. We are in the swamp. I should write a cup of ooze here. Well, technically we got the cup elsewhere. I think we got the cup here. Pretty sure. Well, we got the ooze here. So I'm just thinking.
The mucky swamp is no place for extensive hands-on exploration.
Reasonable. Wrong cursor. Oh yeah, we have this clam with a sore throat that we don't know how to deal with. We already drank the milk, right?
The glass bottle is full of milk. How strange for a plant to produce not only milk, but a container to go with it.
Okay. I was just thinking, I don't know what to give the clam to help with the sore throat situation. I think I already tried using the milk bottle on the clam. That did not accomplish anything.
The hole in the wall has 4 legs and a curly tail. He's all limbs with only a hole for a body. But that doesn't make him any less whole.
I'm not sure where to use the hole, but it just occurred to me that the castle has a big wall that we could potentially put a hole on. I don't know what that would get us, but it might be worth trying to see what happens. So let's go try that.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
I also have a note. The ferryman suggested we meet the leaders of each island. We still we haven't met the leader of the Isle of the Beast. I don't know who that would be. Is that the Beast? I don't know. The last area we've gotten to there has a gate with 2 statues above it. There's an archer on one side that points I'm gonna go over there.
Alexander feels a strange pulling
Well, I'm
sensation.
thinking about it. Let's get distracted from our original plan. There's an archer that follows you with an arrow, so presumably we need some way to either protect us from that arrow or maybe just get it to waste that arrow. And then we have this other person holding a spear downward. That seems like something it's possible we could simply avoid by not going under it, but maybe that's just my optimism. I don't think we have anything. I'm pretty sure I tried like tossing the brick to see if that would
Alexander can't do anything with the garden plot from this side of the wall. The path, like destiny, cannot be altered.
Hey, Efton. Princesses' lives are real bummers in this series. Yeah, I guess, I mean, yeah. Definitely, I think the princesses have it the worst overall. Often trapped in towers. At least in 4, Rosella got to be the one on the mission, but it was an especially rough situation, having to save her dying dad. But yeah, not in general. The whole royal family has a pretty bad time a lot of the time. I assume when they're not busy starring in games, things are okay for them. One hopes.
Alexander pulls
We're
out
gonna go
his
back to
magic
the
map.
Isle of the Crown, and then we're gonna try the hole on the castle wall to see if that does anything useful.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Soggy boots. Yeah, that's got to be unpleasant. Much like King's Quest V, I remember very little about the puzzles in this game. And also, really, the story, even beyond this beginning part. But I feel like this one is like, you know, in a previous stream, we went over like the marketing for the game, and I make a big deal about how many, like, half the game's puzzles are optional, and there's often multiple solutions, so it feels a little less difficult to, like, half remember a lot of things. Okay, so we got this nice big wall, a vine we can't climb up, but let's see if we can put a hole on this wall.
Alexander puts the hole in the wall on the side wall of the castle. Alexander looks through the hole in the wall.
Oh, interesting.
Alexander can see what looks like a hallway in the basement of the castle. It must lie just on the other side of this wall.
Oh. Okay, there's a guard patrolling. We got a little flickering on the guard animation there, but for a second I thought it was something strange going on. Ghost guard or something. I don't know if
Alexander can see what looks like a hallway in the
Okay. It doesn't seem like there's any way to move the hole around or, like, change the angle you're looking at. Huh. That's... I don't know I can't figure out what's supposed to be going on here. I guess this little bit of green is actually Alexander, like...
Alexander can see what looks like a hallway in the basement of the castle. It must lie just on the other side of this wall.
Whenever we hit a bug like this, I often wonder if this is a bug in ScumVM or a bug in the original game that is being faithfully reproduced by ScumVM. I clicked on the hole over here, so I assume I can't move the hole around.
Alexander removes the hole in the wall from the wall.
Okay. It didn't really seem to tell us much, but maybe it'll be useful later on. Certainly being able to see what the guards are doing is a potentially useful thing. The world may never know whose bug it is. Yes. In, I think it was King's Quest 3, we ran into a little bug where I couldn't get out of the Three Bears house, I think it was. And as someone looked it up online, and we did determine it was a bug in the original game, which was very interesting. I'm still puzzled by this nightingale. I don't know what we need to do to... No, I don't know what we need to do with it at all, really. Let's play the flute for it, just for fun.
Alexander plays his flute. The nightingale just looks at him curiously.
Okay. When you said little bug, I thought you meant like an ant. No ants yet in this one, at least. Just wondering if we have any other items we could use here. What's this piece?
Alexander has a love poem from a book in the bookshop.
Love poem. Okay. Yeah, this seems to be a wild nightingale. Previously, it was up on the higher branches, and we played the mechanical nightingale for it. and it came down onto this lower branch.
Although the nightingale seems interested in Alexander, she would never allow him close enough to grab her.
So it's a little bit trusting of us now, but we still haven't really accomplished anything. I assume Lamp Guy's not back, but let's check while we're here. Very disappointing that we finally have a lamp to trade and Lamp Guy's not here. Let's pop in these shops real quick while we're here. We've had a couple times where things changed in the shops.
I will be right up.
Don't worry about it, buddy.
Now, what can I do for you?
I guess we'll say hello.
How fare you, merchant?
Quite well, thank you. I just finished a wonderful book on geological rock formations. Fascinating.
No thank you on Secret Crush. I do not require any tea at the moment. Although I could use a glass of water, if you don't mind.
Prince Alexander.
So, oh right, the whole mint situation, I still don't know if that's normal. I did, after the stream last week, I did a quick little speed run. Mostly I was curious. At one point we redid some things in a little bit different order, and then there's that part where we overhear the conversation between the Vizier, I think he's been referred to as, and who I'm assuming is a genie. Also, I did notice in that scene with the two of them, there's a bottle that's like a very, like, I Dream of Genie type of bottle. And he does say master, so I don't think I'm wrong that he's a genie. Thank you.
I just remembered more kitchen things I need to do.
Oh no. Yeah, so like that scene happens after he eats a mint, which he becomes drunk off of, and then oh right, the other thing I did, that conversation was a little different, but it wasn't interestingly different. I think they just kind of skipped a part where they discuss learning that I am on the islands. The other thing I did different, just to see, I used the mint on the guards of the Isle of Wonder, and then I immediately came back here just to see if they would be out of mints, and that is correct. So if you use your mint on the guards, at least there doesn't seem to be any way to get another mint. I don't know if that's okay. Like, knowing there's optional or multiple solutions to puzzles in this game just makes me wonder if I'm doing it the best way. But we won't worry about it for now. Let's say hello to this guy.
How fare you, good merchant?
Thankfully, I fare better than my business. My shop is as silent as the moon these days.
So I think, like I was saying, I think probably one of the few things I can think of to do at this point is to try going to the catacombs and see what happens there. It's possible we're prepared. Remember the merchant said something about being able to get more mints from a fairy. Oh, I think he was saying Ferry, like the ferrymen. The boat is not operational. Right. I don't know what other island, like, I don't know if that's something we could help with, since we are able to travel between islands. I don't think we've found anything. I should make a note of this, though. I'm wondering that, though, there's a garden on the Isle of Wonder that's got a lot of different things. I don't think there was any mint growing there. But maybe we'll check that real quick before we go to the catacombs. Certainly the last time I poked around there was before we learned about the mint situation.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Oh, right. I remember what happened with the milk. I drank it, and then he just kind of discarded the bottle, I think. Because I was trying to get an empty container that we could get some swamp ooze in. So then we got another bottle. Okay, so we have our wallflowers, our snapdragons, our tomatoes. This is iceberg lettuce. Which we did find a use for, cooling down that hot water. These are baby's tears?
Unless Alexander is mistaken, those plants must be baby's tears.
Right. Hey, Silver. Good to see you. We are doing pretty good. Haven't accomplished very much yet. We're currently checking to see if there's any mint growing in this garden.
Clinging vines climb the garden wall.
Just vines. We experimented. We put our little hole in the wall guy on the side of the castle wall. We were able to see inside. Like, it was just a hallway, though, with a guard patrolling. So it didn't really tell us too much, but that could be useful eventually. Mint for... I have no idea if this is even important, but we know the genie really likes those mints. And they're now out of mints, but they can't make any more mints because there's no mint on the Isle of the Crown. And the ferry has been non-operational for some time. So I don't know if this is a problem we need to solve at all. It's just a thing that crossed my mind. And I thought I'd look into it. Huh. There was a... Sorry, I'm just looking at the stream on my iPad. There's a frog there, and I don't know, it looked like it had a little crown on it. It could have been just my imagination, but... I thought I saw a couple yellow pixels. Alright, let's go to the catacombs. I'm going to do a save. We haven't really done anything. But I don't expect it to go super well, so...
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
So, Sacred
Alexander
Mountain.
feels a strange pulling sensation.
And then we should be automatically taken to the catacombs when we get there.
There's nothing of interest there.
Don't tell me I gotta climb up first. Please have some mercy on me, game. I do appreciate that this is giving me the opportunity to come here and realize what I'm in for. You know, I have a chance to back out, but I hope I don't have to climb all the way up. Okay, good.
So, you have chosen to come back and face the catacombs when you could have escaped. I admit I am surprised. You're either a complete idiot or vain enough to think yourself invincible.
Maybe a little both.
And you are far wiser, I suppose, to leave a maiden to die? To not fight this plague on your own people?
Bravery and suicide are two different things, human. You will have a chance to renounce your choice soon enough, when you lay trembling under the Minotaur's hooves.
We shall see. Thanks for the escort.
We only escort you to your death. May the fates make it quick so that you do not have to scream long.
Dang. Okay.
The catacomb's entrance door is locked from the outside by the Winged One's guards. It seems that leaving the catacombs by that door is not an option.
So this looks a little familiar, but much fancier than the maze we went through in King's Quest V. So I'm going to start a new page, and this will be a simpler map of squares. Let's see, I guess I'll do kind of like I did before. I'll have a thicker wall to indicate where we can't go.
Niches in the wall form stone burial beds. Ancient bones lie crumbling on the unyielding rock. Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms. Niches in the wall form stone burial beds.
Maybe the Minotaur just wants to talk. Could be. Probably lonely down here, right?
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
I think that was real. Just my opinion.
Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
I don't know if I should be, like, inspecting things.
The walls of the catacombs are made of massive stone tiles. That's the north wall of the room.
We do have... I've mentioned previously that I suspect this red scarf is at least a component of our Minotaur fighting arsenal. I think I'm remembering that correctly. But I don't know if we need anything else to take on the Minotaur. Surely a red scarf is not all we need, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Oh. 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 This looks like a puzz.
A carving of a scythe adorns that tile.
I don't know what to make of this. Stepping on a scythe or a skull sounds bad, right? So I guess I'll try stepping on a rose.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
But then...
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Tickets only. Next.
3 spikes and you're out.
Ouch. So that is a rose, right?
An image of a rose has been carved into that tile. Alexander is carrying a book from the bookshop. The cover says, Ye Old Spell Book.
Spells. Oh, is this?
Alexander is carrying a book from the bargain table in the bookshop.
Oh. There was a book of riddles, right? Oh, we just got a page out of it. Wait. I can't remember what happened with the book of riddles, but I guess we don't have the book of riddles. I'm just trying to think of anything that could help us here. Let's see, what spells do we have? We have magic paint, make rain, and charming a creature of the night. None of those sound useful here. We haven't come across anything that would help here, I don't think. I don't know if this is just something to trial and error or what, but let's take another shot at it. Basically, any square we step on first is going to be a rose. I don't know. Okay. Is this just... Trial and error seems wrong. Didn't you give a book to the caterpillar guy? We gave him the dangling participle, which is a creature. I don't remember... We got a rare book that we traded for the magic book at the bookshop. I don't think the rare book... I guess it's possible that was the riddle book, but I don't think so. If anyone remembers, feel free to let me know.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
Uh-oh.
I'm inclined to just trial and error this, I guess.
Next. 3 spikes and you're out.
I assume... Let's see, I went here. Is that right? Or did I go? Shoot. I'm gonna draw a little... Just put it in the corner here. Map within a map. So we got four rows and 5 columns. And we start here. So this tile is safe. Let's try here. Okay.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
So that's bad. I think both of those are bad. And then we already found out the one directly in front of us is bad, so let's try down here.
Alexander
that's
feels
bad.
the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Is there not actually a path here?
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
Uh-oh.
That uh-oh would make a great sound alert, yes.
Next.
3 spikes and you're out.
I don't know what to make of this. Unless we can go diagonally. I guess I'll try it. Oh, we can.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
Uh-oh.
The other thing is, I don't know for sure if it's like a single safe path through, like, you know, I don't know, maybe I need to step on one and then come back and step on a different one. That doesn't seem right, but it seems possible. But let's try here.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, I don't see... The only one we can go on safely is this one right here.
Alexander feels the
Uh-oh.
I guess we'll come back to this, because I'm stumped. I remember that room from when I originally played this, but absolutely nothing about how to solve that puzzle.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
Perhaps we'll find something elsewhere in the catacombs that will help us. Oh. Rat friend. Let's go this way. I do appreciate that, unlike the maze in King's Quest V, this,
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
doesn't ever change the orientation. Makes it a lot easier to keep track of where you are.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Okay. I guess I didn't try examining before. I feel like there's, at some point, something to do with at least one of these skeletons. Yeah, the orientation change was interesting, but challenging.
Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
I didn't, like, find it to be a bad thing or anything, but this does make it easier.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Thanks for that follow. Welcome. I guess I would put a little X by the skeletons we've examined.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
Oh, we got some bitrate problems here. I don't know how long that's been going on. Okay. I'm gonna take a break, and hopefully this will clear up, and I'll see if I can investigate
so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
and figure out what's wrong with that. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo. Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms. Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature. Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo. Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms. Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
Okay, I kind of think it actually cleared up as soon as I went on a break.
Somewhere far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
We've had that happen a couple times recently. Last time it happened on Unsecret Crush's stream. I made a little tweak that I hoped would help with it. Hopefully it's just a rare fluke and does not happen very often.
As he walks through the doorway, Alexander gets a very bad feeling about this room.
Didn't get that bad feeling soon enough, I guess.
Only. Next.
Don't just wonder, Alexander. Let your conscience be your guide.
What? I'm just trying to make sense of this. The guide being capitalized reminds me of the guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles. I don't know if it's trying to suggest we look at that. There is a section on the catacombs, which we should take a look at. Oh. Is this puzzle more copy protection? I don't know. So here's the section. Oh, this actually has the solution to the puzzle I was struggling with. So at least there's that. It's also got this interesting illustration up here, which I saw this on a previous stream and I was like, huh, that almost looks like a map. And it might be. I don't know where we would be on this map. I don't think we have enough data yet to be sure. But there are a couple of areas where it's like a darker colored block with like a crack in it. And I'm guessing, assuming it is a map of the catacombs, that those are marking rooms like the one we just went into, which led to us falling to our death. Okay, anyways, let's read this section here. The catacombs. Another remnant of the Ancient One's culture, the catacombs, is tragically inaccessible to visitors today. The catacombs held the burial chambers of the Ancient Ones and are said to be designed as a giant labyrinth. To protect their tombs from looters, the Ancient Ones built death traps into the catacombs and filled it with dead-end paths, maze-like corridors, and rooms where secret knowledge is needed to pass. The Winged Ones were close to mastering the secrets of the catacombs some years ago when a Minotaur, taking an instant liking to the dark funereal place, is that how you say that word? Decided to take up residence. At first, the kingdom attempted to regain the hostage artifact, but between the dangers of the catacombs itself and the Minotaur's stealth and treachery, the losses became too grave to continue the struggle, and the Minotaur was left to his prize. Did I miss what the prize was? Since then, the catacombs have been bolted shut. It is one of the great sorrows of the kingdom that each year the Minotaur demands and must be given the living sacrifice of his choice, lest he emerge from the catacombs and attack the city. The catacombs are illustrative of the Ancient One's obsessive interest in death. Indeed, it seems to be in the air in this part of the world, for the modern-day Green Islanders also have elaborate death traditions, as I will describe later. The catacombs were obviously a place of high reverence for the Ancient Ones, as a message on an ancient tablet that once adorned the doors of the catacombs shows. 3 roses laid upon the bower, a scythe for he who cuts the flower, a crown, a dove, most noble race, thy bones make this dread place. Okay. Hey, David Alexander. Good to see you. So that's definitely referring to that room. 3 roses. Like, when we come in, the squares above, to the left, and below us are all roses. And then crown and dove are definitely references. Like, there's bones. So I think we'll look at that again when we return to that room. Okay. Which we're here now, so maybe we'll take a shot at this. 3 roses laid upon them. I still don't... Like, this is the only rose I can go on safely.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
Uh-oh.
Tickets only. Next.
3 spikes and you're out.
And you could maybe read this as you need to go on a rose first and then a scythe. I can't even tell what this one is here. Oh, I guess that's the dove. So maybe we actually need to go rose and then come back here and then scythe? No.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath his feet.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Have you come to join us?
Kitchen things concluded.
Wonderful. Any thoughts on this puzzle? Have you been watching it all?
I was a little distracted. I
Okay.
heard. Can I look at your guidebook
Yeah.
to read it on my own?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was watching on a very small phone screen.
Hmm.
I forgot. I need game sound now that I'm in the room.
Like, we couldn't possibly go... No.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing on shift beneath
Did
his
you look
feet.
at this picture?
Uh-oh.
The picture above it?
Do you have?
My assumption is that that is a map of the catacombs.
Okay.
Next.
But it's hard to
3
say for
spikes and you're
sure.
out.
Because we don't really know where we are
Right.
on that map.
So I was just curious if these patterns of bricks and chains possibly have any relevance to any individual rooms. Like maybe showing a safe path or something.
I think I'm going to leave here again,
Okay.
and we'll continue mapping things out. Let's see. Check this skeleton.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones. but finds nothing except the dust of the grave. Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except...
Oh, right, I forgot to turn off the timer.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Okay.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild...
We're aware. This is a new path. I assume the bats and rats are just decoration.
I have not been able to make anything.
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born
Okay.
of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature. Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Lots of directions here. Can I have my iPad back?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Keeping an eye out for...
Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
okay. So, based on the map we have so far, I think that this might actually be where we entered. There's a square here that's actually completely black, and that matches up with this hole we fell in.
Okay.
And so far everything else matches up. And then this tile here
Alexander
that's
hears the
darker
distant sounds
with
of
a
wild
crack
animal somewhere in the maze
matches
of
up with the room that had a puzzle in it. So I think that makes sense.
There it goes. Okay. Your chair was trying to eat my
Oh no,
cable, but I got it out.
sorry.
It is free.
It's good. Okay, so I guess we'll...
Alexander hears a low growling.
head this way.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Bones. Oh, okay. So if the map is correct, then
Somewhere, far off in
continuing
the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
to the left should take us to our death. So we will do a save and test that out. I'm positive.
As he
I'm correct.
walks through the doorway, Alexander gets a very bad feeling about this room.
Tickets only.
Don't
Oh.
just wonder, Alexander.
Gotta switch back.
Let your conscience be your guide.
Okay, so we won't go that way again. I think this is just gonna take us in a... Wait a sec.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
Okay. For a second I thought something was off, but I think it still matches up.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Ancient bones.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave. Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Eventually we'll find something, I'm sure of it.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Maybe you should get a vacuum for the grave.
And then we're just about back to where we started.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
So now we're back here. And I think we'll have one more square we can check out here, and then we'll be forced to deal with this puzzle. Oh, did I not check these bones? Gotta check all your bones.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Yeah, I guess anytime there's a bat or rat, that's during a period when you can't even interact with anything. So
Interesting.
they scurry out by the time I'm able to do any clicking.
Are they just there for some
Yeah,
movement and interest?
I think so. Actually, that one I could have clicked on it if I was fast enough. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I already examined these bones. So we should be able to safely go north of here. Oh.
A lot of bones.
Yeah, there's some green on these bones. I don't know what that is. Like... Yeah. Let's start by searching these.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave. the remains of several unfortunate souls haunt the room. These bones seem more recent than the ancient catacomb bones that Alexander has seen so far. Perhaps they were victims of the Minotaur, or perhaps they died while wandering lost in the maze. 3 of the skeletons are completely intact.
Are they? These 2 look intact. This one, I mean, I guess you could say a skeleton is intact if its head is lying a foot away. I don't know. Now, the whole thing's there.
Yeah, but I think all parts...
A skull lies on the ground among the skeletons. Where the skull came from is a mystery, since the other remains seem to have their skulls intact.
Oh, maybe this is the 3rd skeleton that's intact?
Oh, okay. Anyway, the thing I was gonna say, like, all parts present is slightly different from intact.
Sure. It's just, I mean, I guess my thought is any skeleton really intact if you insist that all the parts must be attached to each other? Because, I mean, they're not.
Alexander
What do you mean?
picks up the skull.
Bones stick together. Don't they? I don't actually know.
Yeah, now you're making me wonder. Like, I mean, at some point, anything connecting them is gonna eventually be gone, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, you know, surely even without any flesh, the bone connection parts still exist. But now I'm realizing, like, any sort of, like, anatomical model or, like, medical skeleton has, like, pins and stuff to hold it together.
Right.
So, I don't know, maybe once all the tissue is gone, a skeleton does not stay together.
I feel pretty confident about that myself, but I'm also not a bones expert.
It's not anything I've ever really thought much about before.
Okay.
Is all.
Alexander is carrying a human skull.
Cool.
Oh, right.
Maybe don't tell the winged ones you yoinked a skull later. Yeah, we'll keep that on the down low.
Supposed to get a skull full of hot embers?
Yes.
Or something?
Yes. We do have our spell for charming a creature of the night. Should hold this on camera. Requires a skull full of hot oak embers, a bit of sulfur or brimstone, and a strand of a pure maiden's hair, which we do not have. Could always sing the skeleton connected to the whichever bone song, to be sure. Let's see, so got a skull in this room.
Alexander doesn't want to disturb that skeleton. He seems to have all his bones intact, and it'd be a shame to break up the set.
Okay, sure, game. I still want to know what the green is. Like, would moss grow on bones down in catacombs? I would think moss would need a little more sunlight, right? I don't know. I don't know that much about moss growth.
I'm busy trying to find the answer about bones.
Okay. Let me know what you learn. So now we're back to this puzzle. It's time to either figure out the puzzle or give up on the catacombs. I think surely we have everything we need to figure it out.
Okay, well, according to a Quora post, cartilage and bone degrade at the same rate. So once all the flesh is gone, there would still be the cartilage connecting bones together.
Interesting.
However, if you were to move a skeleton that still had its head attached, the head would probably still dramatically topple off, simply because of the sheer weight of the thing.
Okay. Fascinating.
And I feel like this is enough learning about bones for today.
Yeah, I mean, more detail than that seems possibly unpleasant. Let's resave over a catacomb puzz save. I think I figured this out. The thing I didn't try, like I tried going here, and then I realized that I could go directly to this scythe down here. The thing I didn't try is going directly to another rose.
Alexander feels the tile he's standing
Okay.
on shift
What was the
beneath his
first
feet.
symbol you
I
stepped
think I
on?
needed to go to this rose next.
Ouch.
The first one I stepped on was a rose. We need to do 3 roses, then a scythe
3 spikes and you're
for
out.
he who cuts the flower.
Okay.
A crown, a dove, most noble race, thy bones make sacred this dread place.
So there's more than 3 tiles with flowers on them, with roses on them?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch.
Okay.
So I think we just need to do a straight diagonal line here. I'm gonna redraw my little puzz diagram just to keep track of things here. So we need to go here, here, then here. And then I'm assuming straight up. Yes. A crown, a dove. So we have a crown straight above us. That seems like a good bet. Good. There's a dove here. I'm not sure what's straight above us. I think that's bones. So we'll try here. Good. Crown a dove, most noble race. Thy bones make sacred this dread place. So I think we just got these bones here. And then we're good. Hey!
Huzzah! Might be worth doing a save.
Yeah. Save. This will swap between this one. Oop, what'd I do? Okay. So back to our map. We don't necessarily need to keep drawing a map since we have this one, but this at least gives me a place to mark things down and keep track of exactly where we've been. So I'm going to keep doing that. So I think left is going to be a dead end. Oh. Oh. Oh!
Ah, you were a human only and not the monster himself. I heard you coming and thought you were the beast. Did my father send you here to save me?
Why, yes, he did, but how did you...
Hush, there is no time. I think I have discovered the Minotaur's secret exit from the catacombs. Follow me and we'll both be saved.
When that happened, I was just about to comment, oh no, there's a black square to the left of this one. And then I looked up and I saw that glimmer in the eye. So this is the genie trying to lead us to our death.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
There you are. Why do you not follow me? You wish for death by the Minotaur? Hurry, we can tarry no longer.
I want to wait and see.
Yeah.
I'm sure the next time there will be a bit more anger in that voice. And then a poof.
So, here you still are. You are a coward and a fool. I leave you to your fate.
Okay, so no poof. But I'm assuming that's the last bit of dialogue. Silver, if you missed, that was the genie in disguise trying to trick us. If we follow, there will be a hole there that we fall in and die. Okay, so we'll go north instead. Discovered that the guidebook has a map, so that's how I knew for sure. And also I saw the glimmer in her eye, suggesting this is not really the... Oh, a shield!
A shield?
There's a shield!
Fancy.
We'll just stick that in our pocket. I hope we don't die picking it up or something.
Alexander takes the shield from the wall. The otherwise plain wooden shield is embellished with a silver cross.
Okay. So we are here now. Got some bones over here to look at.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
I'm curious if the shield will help us with the Minotaur, because the first thing I thought of when I saw a shield is, that archer above the gate on the Isle of the Beast. But it could have multiple uses, I suppose. So the map in the guidebook has...
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
2 sections. I assume eventually we're going to get to a different level. Like we'll either go up or down. There is a square. This square up here is like has a darker color, but it's a unique
Somewhere
level of darkness, I guess. It's not colored the same way the holes are. Like the holes, like this is a hole, this is a hole. Those are just kind of like the same blue background color without any texture on them. So I am guessing that's where we will find a ladder.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
And I think off to the right here we've got another darker colored square, so we might be in for some type of puzzle. But I think we'll...
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
If we go straight ahead here, we've got a dead end, so we'll check that out first.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave. Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms. Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Okay.
Alexander finds 2 coins on the skeleton's eyes. He takes the old coins.
Hell yes. I knew it would pay off.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
So that's what I knew we would find eventually. I will probably continue checking them all just to be on the safe side. I really can't remember if there's anything else to be found. Oh, there's our coins.
The 2 coins from the skeleton in the catacombs are extremely old and corroded.
Okay. So we're going back here. And I'm going to go ahead and save before we go in this room. It probably has some sort of puzzle. Oh.
It's a trap. The doors have sealed Alexander inside.
See, it's a good thing I
The ceiling is coming down.
This is cool and creepy. What do I do? Brick? Jam a brick in the gears?
In a desperate move, Alexander throws a brick into the grinding gears. The brick is caught between 2 cogs. The gears shriek and shudder. The mechanism grinds to a halt. The ceiling is stuck. The trap is sprung.
Honestly, I'm surprised I managed to get through without dying once. Okay.
Even if Alexander wanted to retrieve the brick, he'd be unable to get it out of the cogs now. It's tightly wedged in place.
I figured, but I thought I'd check.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave. Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
Yeah, I think the only thing we're gonna tell the winged ones about what we did down here is defeat the Minotaur and save the... Is it a princess? Whoever.
I think it's the daughter,
the lady.
The daughter of the
Yeah.
king and queen.
Everything else they don't need to know about. So we're getting close to that darker square, which I assume is like a ladder or stairs of some sort. We just have a short little dead end.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
We're often finding things in dead ends. We certainly want to explore there.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave. Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Okay, no goodies this time. Forgot to mark that off.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones.
Oh!
Sounds! A trap floor!
Okay, I think we're alive.
Alexander seems to have fallen to a lower level of the catacombs. Wherever he is, the place sure is dark. Alexander can't even see his hand in front of his face.
I like the little blinky eyes.
Yeah.
Are those his blinky eyes or someone else's? Can you use your lamp?
Oh, crap.
What?
A tinderbox
Oh!
is one of the items we can trade for.
Which you could maybe use to light your lamp? Or just to light something in general?
I'm guessing, like, there's been torches.
Uh-huh.
So there's probably a torch we could light. I should have, like, I knew there was a good chance we needed a specific one of those items, but I didn't know which one. So I figured, you know, I'll explore and then we'll figure it out. But I really should have realized that the tinderbox was a good bet for exploring frickin' catacombs, right? But yeah, I kind of think we're screwed, probably. We'll poke around a little. Let's see what...
Alexander can't do anything in the room until he can see.
Yeah, so... Oh, I can't even... Interesting.
Alexander hears the scrabble of hooves in the dark room.
Hey. Hello?
Eh? What?
His eyes fell out?
Or was he ripped in twain?
Next.
Perhaps?
In the dark, Alexander?
Oh, we gotta go back so far. Okay. Well,
Alexander pulls
off to
out
get our
his
tinderbox, I
magic map.
guess, and then we'll have to redo. I'm glad I mapped out the puzz. Oh right, the skull. We need to grab the skull. We need the shield. We need the coins. It shouldn't take too long.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
That sound makes me think that some alternate universe version of Windows is booting up or something. It sounds like a good, like, startup sound for your Map OS, I guess. Let's see, we did go look. I don't remember if we got any points for using the hole on the castle wall, but I'm going to redo that just in case. Don't want to miss out on points.
Alexander puts the hole in the wall on the side wall of the castle. Alexander looks through the hole in the wall. Alexander can see what looks like a hallway in the basement of the castle. It must lie just on the other side of this wall.
Little guy just looks unhappy about something.
The hole?
The hole, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you okay, buddy?
Alexander can see what looks like a hallway in the basement of the castle. It must lie just on the other side of this wall.
I mean, if you think about it, you did kind of forcibly kidnap it and jam it in your pocket, and now it's like
Alexander removes the hole
in an
the wall from the
unfamiliar
wall.
place.
On one hand, yes, this is true. On the other hand, I feel like it always looks like that.
That's true. I mean, it was kind of a shy creature. It was trying to avoid you, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we got any points there. So we currently have the flute. I don't think we ever did anything with the flute. But we'll swap that for the tinderbox, and then hopefully that'll get us somewhere.
Prince Alexander.
It'd be kind of a bummer if we redo all that and we're still stuck because we don't have a torch. I always forget exactly how this trading process works. We'll try this.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander looks closely at the items on the counter to make his selection.
I believe I'll take the tinderbox.
It looks to
Very
me
good,
like
Prince
it's
Alex. Enjoy your tinderbox and bring it back anytime.
Thank you.
like I don't know exactly what a tinderbox is, I guess, but it looks to me like something that you could light, like it would have a small flame of its own. Mm-hmm. So I assume we can light that, and then we'll find a torch that we can use to get a better light source. Oh, interesting. This drawing is not quite the same. Like, this looks more like a lantern. It looks a little different than what was on the counter.
Shop's tinderbox is slightly battered, but in reasonably good shape. The tinderbox contains a candle, as well as some flint and tinder.
Okay. Great. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah, the hole in the wall certainly seems like it has been traumatized.
Yeah. Map.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Catacomb speedrun time. You know, let's go ahead and max out the speed.
Okay.
I don't think it'll make a huge difference, but save us a little time at least. Yeah, like
You have chosen to come back
when you
and
max
face
out the speed, like certain animations just go too fast. Like there's a point where it doesn't really seem to save you any time. It just
Right.
makes certain things awkwardly fast.
The catacomb's entrance door is locked from the outside by the Winged One's guards. It seems that leaving the catacomb...
I suppose it's possible, is probably, like, if you think about it, like, as, like, faster speed for a slower computer, like, at the time, like, maybe it's, you know, somehow working out better on a slower computer. So we can ignore this whole section. There's nothing over there but a large loop and a path to our death. We're going for the skull first.
Alexander picks up the skull.
Mm-hmm. And then to the puzzle. I guess this part, the walking faster, is actually working, right? Maybe there's just like certain scripted walking animations where it doesn't really speed things up. I'm going to save just in case I misclick here. And we'll just go ahead and replace this one. I think I know our path. There we go. Grab our shield. Alexander just doing a bit of a foot shuffle in excited anticipation. Yeah. And then gotta get our 2 coins.
Alexander finds 2 coins on the...
And then back to this trap. Just in case, we'll do another save.
It's a trap. The doors have sealed Alexander inside. And the ceiling is coming down. In a desperate move, Alexander throws a brick into the grinding gears. The brick is caught between 2 cogs. The gears shriek and shudder. The mechanism grinds to a halt. The ceiling is stuck. The trap is sprung.
Okay, nothing over there. Here we go.
Sounds! A trap floor!
Zounds.
Yep. Oops.
Alexander seems to have fallen to a lower level of the catacombs. Wherever he is, the place sure is dark. Alexander can't even see his hand in front of his face. Alexander takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it.
Aha! So that's why it's dark in here. A torch is out.
Alexander lights the extinguished torch and puts his tinderbox away.
Okay. Even does the Looney Tunes hover before falling thing, he just needs a tiny sign to hold up that says sounds. This section of the map here presumably is the level we're on, and here's where we came from. And I'm fairly confident this is the square we're on right now. It's the same darker color, and it's in roughly the same spot. So we have a color here that they've used to indicate some sort of puzzle room. So I'm guessing that's probably our ultimate destination. Where the Minotaur is, I guess. But we'll want to explore everything else just in case there's any other items we need to collect. He's Automat's not a fan of Looney Tunes, so. Let's write over this one. And it's hard to tell. Okay, this is interesting, actually. Okay. I hadn't really noticed, but I guess sometimes they just kind of connect the two squares. I think they were probably trying to make it less obvious that this is a map of the catacombs, is my guess. For a second, I thought that maybe meant something on here, but I don't think it does. But it's hard to tell what is the optimal path to take. I do kind of suspect that like an area here where there's like some broken off bits that could indicate like you can't go between those two squares. Yeah, because they did that over here, which is the case here. So I think if we go south from here, that's going to take us eventually to here. So we'll start off going west first.
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
I did notice that the skeleton that had the coins had, obvious little coin pixels on it. So I think I'll skip inspecting every skeleton just for time savings, as long as there's not any obvious reason to do so. Oh, we can go in every direction here. Jeez.
Somewhere far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
I believe south leads to our death, though. Oops, wrong spot. North looks like a dead end, so let's check that out first.
The walls of the catacombs are made of massive stone tiles. That's the north wall of the room. Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
Slow this back down here. We'll try that.
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
Okay. I think west is another death trap, but it's hard to tell. The map is a little bit cut off there.
Far off into the catacombs, the sounds of...
So I'm just gonna save and find out. Oh. What?
That's right.
Oh. I think I lost track of where I was on the guidebook map, actually.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
It's a little hard to keep track sometimes when the map is still fairly incomplete like this. Okay. Let me back up. Okay.
Alexander hears a low growling, so faint.
Okay, north has to be a death trap. Yeah.
As he
Okay.
walks through the doorway, Alexander gets a very bad feeling about this room.
But he doesn't bother to look down.
Tickets only. Next.
Don't just wonder, Alexander. Somewhere, far off
Okay.
into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
Here. Now we're here. And that's the hole. Okay. Okay. We're getting there.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms.
So I think we have a dead end here. Mm-hmm.
Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
This is a big maze.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will go east to complete this section
Alexander
of
hears
the
a
map
low
here.
growl.
This should take us back up to here. And just to make sure that we're in the expected place here, that all looks good. And then I think this will be a dead end room here. Non-fatal type of dead end.
Alexander hears the sound of a wild beast again. This time, so loud that the creature itself seems to be in the same room with him. The noises are coming from the other side of the east wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, looking at this map here, that's the room we're in, and I'm assuming this is where the Minotaur is. So we're just like 2 squares away from it. I am curious if we can use our hole in the wall here.
Alexander puts the hole in the wall on the east wall.
Neat.
The hole in the wall trembles slightly with dread at the
Ooh.
clammy feeling of the stones.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry.
Alexander peers through the hole in the wall and sees just another room in the catacombs.
Oh. Oh.
But it does
Aha.
have a guy in it.
Not just another room at all. So that's why Alexander couldn't find the Minotaur's lair.
Oh, well, I
At
had...
least Alexander now knows the lair exists, somewhere in the maze on the other side of this wall. While Alexander contemplates what he's just seen, the hole in the wall, frightened by the Minotaur, makes a run for it. Alexander hopes the little creature finds its way home to the Isle of Wonder.
You're a real optimist, aren't you, Alexander? Just as a reminder, this is the same guy who thought, oh, there's been a shipwreck and I don't see any of my crewmates.
They're professional sailors.
I'm sure they got on the rowboats and made their way back home, a journey which took months on a real boat.
It's fine.
Hopefully we don't need our little friend anymore. Guess we'll just cross our fingers there. Use hole. Oh yeah, I was gonna comment. It's funny that the game seemed to suggest we had already been to the adjacent room and tried to find the entrance to the lair, but that's not the case. Got a little ahead of ourselves there. So now we can go down this way. And I think this will eventually bring us back around to where we're trying to go. snacking on.
Chocolate pretzels.
Yum. I'm starting to feel optimistic about getting through these catacombs today. I think we might pull it off.
What if it turns out you needed the hole in the wall for something else that you didn't already do, though?
I mean, sure, that would suck a lot, but that's just Sierra games, I guess.
Sure.
I think south of here is just a dead end.
Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sound... Alexander examines the stone shelf and the ancient bones, but finds nothing except the dust of the grave.
So I think we just have kind of a winding path that'll take us up here, and then there's another path off this way that goes back to where we
Alexander
started.
hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms. The door... Alexander hears a low growling, so faint as to seem born of his fired imagination rather than of any living creature.
Okay, so we're gonna go east first because that is the path that just takes us back to the beginning. So we just wanna... If we go north, that'll take us to the Minotaur's lair, so we don't want to go there quite yet. Just in case there's anything else we need to find. Okay, I think south is a hole. We'll find out. Yeah.
As he walks through the doorway, Alexander gets a very bad feeling about this room.
Aye.
Tickets only. Next.
Don't just wonder, Alexander. Let your conscience be your guide.
Yes, we know. Sometimes it's important to just simply verify your assumptions.
Somewhere, far off into the catacombs, the sounds of hooves faintly echo.
Okay, that's got to be another hole over there to the left. I'm just going to assume I'm correct. And this is where we fell down from the upper level. Okay. Now we just got to make our way back to here. And cross our fingers, we have what we need to deal with the Minotaur. So the next room is the room that's got the tapestry and hidden switch. I think I'll go ahead and save here just in case.
Alexander hears the distant sounds of a wild animal somewhere in the maze of rooms. A very beautiful, very dusty tapestry hangs on the wall.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and draw a square here. Save again. Save. Here we go.
We love saving.
This tapestry looks familiar.
Mm-hmm. You've seen it.
Now let's see. I don't feel anything. Aha! A hidden latch.
Alexander triggers
Nice.
the little latch. A secret door rolls open.
Here we go. Ooh.
No! I beg of you! Please don't hurt me!
Your struggles are useless.
It's the Minotaur, and he's struggling with a Winged One's girl. She must be Lady Celeste. The Minotaur is a huge, monstrous beast with cloven hooves and the head of a bull.
So, this pit of fire is interesting and also perhaps useful.
Lady Celeste, looking desperately around the room for any possible means of escape, suddenly spots Alexander.
Hey, what's up?
You there! Human! Help me! Help!
Who dares enter my lair?
I ask you to release your captive or suffer the consequences.
Never. You die, human.
As the Minotaur advances in attack, Alexander slowly backs away.
Okay, here we go.
Until he can back away no more.
This is the setup I needed.
Where to, little man?
Time to wave a scarf.
Alexander, his back inches from the fiery pit, tempts the Minotaur with the Red Queen's scarf.
Look here, you bully. Nice, bright red.
Red. Now you die.
The Minotaur drops from sight amidst the consuming flames. Slowly, his scream fades as well.
Got him.
Have you been harmed, Lady Celeste? Are you all right?
No, I am not all right. I assume you do not intend to leave me tied up on this vile monstrosity.
Of course not. Sorry. Let's see. If you'll give me a moment, I'll have these untied in no time.
I can't wait that long. Look, I wear a small dagger just inside my belt. It should be enough to cut the rope.
Is this also the voice of Minnie Mouse?
I think it might
I
be.
got it, Lady Celeste. Here we go.
Thank you. You may keep the dagger as a gift for saving my life.
That's nice.
That's very generous.
Forget it. Do you mind if we just get out of here now?
Okay. Okay, we're just leaving.
The Winged One's guards, bored with the pointless waiting, are startled by the sound of rock moving against rock.
Yeah. There's that eye twinkle.
Lady Celeste.
Whose eyes
I do
twinkling?
well.
This,
Oh, the bird.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to the bravery of a mere human. So much for your superior intellect.
Yes, milady.
Now bring him along. I'm going home.
Catacombs complete.
Nice.
Oh, and now we get to meet the Oracle.
Proven yourself the hero of the prophecy. Well, I am expected to thank you for saving my daughter's life. So I thank you. I am obliged to thank you for the restoration of our sacred catacombs. It means much to our people. We have already begun the process of clearing the deadly traps from its rooms. It is also my duty to grant you a visit with the Oracle. So this I do. I will grant you the freedom to leave here unharmed, despite my orders to the contrary from the Crown. But there, my obligations to you end. I have no love for Alhazred, but he is my liege, and if Princess Cassima trusts him and wishes to wed him, my guards will take you to the Oracle now. When your time with her is through, I want you to leave the City of the Winged Ones and never return.
Okay.
I don't know who you are or what you want here, but I will not disobey my crown further.
I thank you, Lord Azure. I will respect your wishes.
Ooh.
Hail to thee, great oracle. Lord Azure sends you this wingless mail. It appears that he solved the clits of logic and...
Defeated the Minotaur in his lair. So you've seen. So this is the one that haunts my pool of late. Welcome, young seeker. What knowledge do you desire?
Princess Cassima, whatever you can tell me, great oracle.
Ah, of course.
Just literally
the
anything.
princess. That explains my images. Let us see what we can see. I see a maiden, lovely and pure, but surrounded by evil. She is a rose set amidst bitter thorns. It is her fate to be the pawn of dark powers, and yours to try to redeem her.
How? How do I redeem her?
Fate is not like the cut of a blade, young one, but rather like the myriad of paths formed when a hammer cracks ice. I will tell you what I can, but what will actually come to pass is up to you. I see that any attempt to reach the girl will force you into battle, a struggle against a dark force. If you lose, your life will be forfeit.
Who must I fight?
A great darkness surrounds your adversary, preventing me from seeing clearly. I can only make out the shape of a black cloak. But before before this final struggle, I see an infiltration, a dangerous game of hide-and-seek in corridors filled with enemies. The risks are high, but it is the only way to reach the one you seek. There is more than one way into this place. Your choice will dictate much.
What else do you see, mighty Oracle?
Oh, such pain. I see 2 restless spirits crying out for revenge. These shades could help you destroy the dark force if they were to be brought back from their spiritual form. Yet this is only one possible path to your destiny. I'm afraid this is getting beyond me. I know very little about the afterlife. I can only advise getting counsel from the druids. Be warned. The druids are reclusive and dangerous. They might aid you, or they might destroy you.
Oh.
Like their island, the druid's nature is hidden in the mists. There is nothing more I can do for you, except to give you this. It is water from the sacred pool. That and my blessing go with you.
Thank you, great Oracle.
All right, got a lot of info there. That vial of sacred water was one of the things we need for a make rain spell. We also need falling water and salt water not from the sea to complete that spell. So, still a ways off there. So, something I've seen mentioned about this game is that there's basically 2 paths into the castle. One is an easy path and one is a harder path. So some of the stuff the Oracle was talking about seemed like pretty direct reference to that. She said there's more than one way in. She's talking about infiltration in a game of hide and seek. I'm pretty sure we need to find some sort of disguise to get into the castle. And then when we used the hole in the wall on the castle, we saw like a hallway with some doors and stuff. So I assume that's kind of related to that whole thing. And the 2 restless spirits, I assume, is Casima's parents, the former king and queen, I'm guessing.
Interesting.
And it sounds like we can bring them back from the dead, which is wild. And then she told us to get counsel from the druids who are on a hidden island, which is something that I think is talked about a little bit in the guidebook. I'm just trying to remember how far we've read in here. Okay, yeah, we read about the Isle of the Beast. But we didn't read this section. Part 7, Legends and Myths of the Land of the Green Isles. So yeah, there is a section here where it talks about hidden islands. Though long nights spent before the fire with my companions on the Isle of the Crown, through long nights spent before the fire with my companions on the Isle of the Crown, I learned that the Green Islanders are famous story weavers. To me, nothing speaks more of a people than the tales they tell, for they are woven with the fears, the hopes, and the dreams of the culture. For your enlightenment and entertainment, I set forth some of the more interesting of these legends and myths here. Hidden islands and other worlds. Every land has its tales of hidden places, lost caverns, underground treasure rooms, and secret kingdoms accessible only through some ancient oak tree. The land of the Green Isles is no exception. Here, as might be imagined, the hidden places take the form of islands hidden in the mists of what lie beyond in the sea. One popular tale seems to reflect the universal myths of harvesting and planting. It is said that nearby exists a hidden island of priestly inhabitants who worship Mother Earth. These priests keep the weather and tides in balance to ensure safety from hurricanes and other forces of the sea, and to plead continuance for the kingdom's bounty. It is said that these priests demand privacy above all, and that they remain loyal to the crown in exchange for secrecy. What a wonderfully conspiratorial tale. The Green Islanders are also fond of saying that the unpassable currents in the seas around the kingdom are there as a warning to keep all ships from sailing further east. For it is believed that within a day's sail in that direction, a ship strong enough and foolhardy enough to survive the tempest seas would encounter the edge of the world. What lies beyond the edge of the world, I asked. Why, the next world, they replied, with fearful glances at one another, and quickly changed the subject. We got some other interesting stuff up here. So we'll read this section about death traditions. Death fascinates men the world around, and there are as many philosophies about what comes after this life as there are, it seems, lives which end. I found the Green Islanders to all share a common belief so strongly held as to seem to defy questioning. The family of the deceased hold funeral ceremonies a few days after death to bid the soul of their loved one safe passage to the realm of the dead. The deceased is buried with the things he or she will need for the journey. The realm of the dead is a place not of this world. There Death himself rules. Some call him the Lord of the Dead, others call him Samhain. Those souls who have died at peace with their lives are allowed to enter the underworld and are placed in the Sea of Souls. In that safe repository, they are greeted by ultimate knowledge and are prepared for the next stage. Those souls, however, who died with unresolved trauma in their human lives cannot enter the underworld, but are consigned to wander endlessly on the surface of the realm, chained there by their human woes. Sometimes their life's problems will be resolved in the real world without them, justice meted out or loved ones taken care of, and they are freed from their bonds and gratefully go below. More often, however, things are never resolved in the real world, and the bonded souls over time become part of the mindless dead that roam the surface eternally, never to know peace or be allowed to move on. This belief system deeply affects the lives of the Green Islanders and is, in my estimation, the root of their peaceful lives and their aversion for friction and infighting, greed and anxiety. Certainly, as a man or woman approaches old age or infirmity, he or she strives to resolve any loose ends in their lives in preparation for the journey ahead. I think we'll go ahead and keep reading here. I'm just going to kind of peek at how much more we have. We'll at least read this next section about genies, which seems relevant since that's come up a couple times. In Daventry, the poor man's idea of a great tale involved a tradesman or poor farmer falling in with a fairy and thus gaining a fortune overnight. How many wild-eyed dreamers have spent their days searching out such instant prosperity instead of buckling down and taking the long road to that end? Ha! It is a tale this wanderer has heard all too often. Here in the land of the Green Isles, there are no fewer dreamers, but they speak not of fairies, but of jinn, of genies. A genie is an even greater temptation for the aspiring soul than ever a Daventry fairy, for a genie does not simply turn a one-time favor, however great, then be done with it. No, a genie, like a faithful dog, belongs to its owner for life, or that is, for however long the fortunate master might keep hold of the creature's lamp. Okay. It seems every Green Islander knows the ins and outs of the jinn, though fewer have ever seen one. According to the stated rules, each genie is immortal, and each is permanently attached to a given lamp in which they might or might not be trapped for long centuries, depending on the whims of their owner or fate. Once the lamp comes into the possession of a man or woman, that person becomes the genie's master and must be obeyed. Genies are very valuable creatures and can do a variety of tricks, including transporting a man anywhere on Earth, taking any shape the master might wish, and of course the ever-popular gathering of great treasures and wealth. A genie does have some limitations, however. It cannot cure ills, change the weather, or bring back the dead. And a genie always has a weakness. Ooh. A genie is also bound to its master in other ways. It is said that a genie is like a mirror. It only reflects its master's will. If a master is evil-minded and cruel, the genie will be also. If a master is generous and kind, so will the genie. One of the most popular genie stories is the following one about a genie named Mally Melon. I guess we'll continue. The story of Mally Melon. Mally Melon was a genie with a terrible weakness for mistletoe berries, although the same are poisonous to humans. He had been trapped for a few thousand years in a crusty old lamp after being buried with his possessive master. One day a poor farmer uncovered the lamp while plowing a field. The former, being ignorant, took the lamp at once to his wife, and she, being no more intelligent than he, cleaned the outside brusquely without ever opening the lid. The pair took the lamp to market to sell for a few pence. Oh, that's interesting. So it's perhaps an interesting tip that to uncover the genie, we don't need to rub the lamp, but open it. This tale continues on in this manner. Oh, sorry. I skipped a bit. The pair took the lamp to market to sell for a few pence. The lamp was purchased by an antiquities dealer who, being equally lazy, never bothered to open the thing. His tale continues on in this manner, passing through a dozen or so hands, much to the increased hilarity of the local listeners who seem to find this the largest joke they ever heard. But to move on. Finally, the lamp was purchased by a poor maiden named Daltina, who desired only a little warmth and light for her ailing mother. Daltina took the lamp home and opened it at once in order to fill it with oil and a wick. But instead of dust, a cloud of smoke issued forth from the open lamp, and Mally Melon appeared. The girl was overcome with fear, but Mally Melon finally persuaded the poor thing that she was in no danger, and indeed could now have anything she wished for. In the next few months, Daltina and her mother went from being poor, sickly outcasts to being well-to-do. Their poor house became a fine mansion, and their garden blossomed. The girl, with the flush of prosperity in her cheeks, grew more beautiful by the day. Mally Melon, of course, was furnished with all the mistletoe berries he could eat. But on one thing, Daltina followed the advice of her mother. Never tell anyone of the lamp, she warned, for we are but two lone women in the world and would be no match for those who would wish to steal our treasure. Several years passed this way, and Daltina was content. Every night Mally Melon would ask her, "What more do you wish?" And Daltina would reply, "Nothing. I have all I want." I need a sip of water. Then one day, a procession rode through the village. Riding at the head was a prince, the most handsome man the girl had ever seen. That night, Mally Melon asked, "What more do you wish?" The girl was silent for a moment, thinking, "Who am I to wish such a thing?" And he should marry a princess. But her heart never before touched clamored too loudly for her to hear her own wisdom, and so she whispered, "I wish for the prince." The next day, the prince rode back to the village with haunted eyes. He had seen the girl in a dream and was sick with love. Within 2 weeks, the two were married. But the prince was not as good as he appeared. He wanted things, more wealth, more land, more of everything. When he mooned about for these things, the girl felt pity in her love and would in secret go to her lamp and call forth Mally Melon to achieve her love's desires. At first, the prince was amazed at his wife's powers and intuition. After a time, however, the prince grew suspicious of his wife's seemingly magical abilities. One night, he lamented long about a certain gold sword he must have that hung in a nearby castle. He pretended to go to sleep and heard Daltina slip out. In silence, he followed her down a corridor to her mother's room, and there spied upon her as she called Mally Melon from the lamp, and, offering it some pretty mistletoe, asked her boon. "Mally Melon," Daltina said, "there is a sword of gold in of gold 10 leagues from here. Have it delivered to my husband in the morning as a gift of tribute. To which Mally Melon replied, yes, master. The next morning, a courier arrived with a sword, just as Mally Melon had promised. How marvelous, the prince thought, to have a wife with such a powerful genie. Then he thought, how much more marvelous to possess the genie myself. And so, that very night, the prince waited until Daltina slept, then snuck into his mother-in-law's chambers and removed the lamp from the trunk as he had seen his wife do. Seized with excitement, he hastened to his armory and pulled the lid from the lamp. Mally Melon appeared. Nice illustration here. Yes, master, the genie twittered with a malicious grin on its face. You are my genie now, said the prince, and shall do only as I wish. Of course, master, said Mally Melon, but how about some mistletoe? The next day, the girl awoke to find the prince in possession of the lamp. Despite her pleadings that she be allowed to control the dangerous creature, the prince refused to give it back. And oh, what the prince did with that lamp. Whereas before the girl had indulged his desires conservatively, the prince with the lamp knew no bounds. He kept Mally Melon rushing to fulfill his wishes until the rooms of the castle were heaping with gold and jewels. His enemies lay slaughtered on the fields without provocation. Mally Melon's wicked face now became like a demon's in the land, a demon who stole and laid scourge to everything. Finally, the girl could stand no more. The flame of her love for the prince was doused by bitter tears. One night, she drugged the prince's wine, and when he fell into a deep sleep, took the lamp from his grasp. She called forth the genie once more, and sadly had Mally Melon carry the prince off to a distant and deserted land where he could trouble no one ever again. With the prince gone and Mally Melon back to his good-natured self, Daltina restored the broken land and reigned as a benign, if rather melancholy, queen for many years thereafter, reaping always plentiful harvests of mistletoe. And then we just have one concluding section here, so I think we'll finish up reading the guidebook. Part 8, Postscript. So concludes my records on the land of the Green Isles. I have been well treated here and have become rich in friends, in knowledge, and in countless other blessings. Though I have found my spirit forlorn at times with my inability to travel on, I must admit that my feet have itched less here than anywhere else in this wide world. Still, on occasion, I find my mind roving back to the green hills of Daventry. Perhaps, if my spirit, at least, is allowed to roam free, I've yet to see them soon. To those who may someday follow in my footsteps, I say this. Be kind to the gentle land, be open-hearted to her whimsy, and protect her, if you can, from the harsh winds which might wish to blow in from the sea to steal her soul. She is unlike any place I have ever seen, and she has stolen my heart. Derek Harlevagen. And I assume this is an illustration of the author. And then we have credits for King's Quest VI. So, most of that was more flavor than specific hints that are important, but I feel like kind of learning a little bit about how genies work in this game. Definitely the bit about the mistletoe makes me think I'm right that we might want another mint.
Like this genie in particular is
right.
Is fond of mint the way that the genie in the story was fond of mistletoe.
Right. So if we are able to obtain some mint, perhaps it would be easier to get it to cooperate with us. Is what I'm thinking. Let's see, it's 6 o'clock. I'm not going to go too much longer, but I think I will take a quick break and then we'll do a little bit more before we wrap up. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Okay. So I think kind of seems like we're pretty much completely done with the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, huh? So let's get out of here. We got a bunch of items. The main one that jumps out at me is the shield. We might be able to finally make some more progress on the Isle of the Beast with that. This dagger is interesting.
The small dagger is a gift from Lady Celeste. Its handle is decorated with precious gems set in a delicate feminine style.
That's a girl's knife.
Yep. That's what it just said. Our coins, I believe, will get us across the river Styx. Vial of Sacred Water for a spell. Skull is probably also for a spell. Have we found any embers anywhere we could put in this?
I don't think so.
Can't think of anything either. We'll probably want to trade our tinderbox for something else. I'm guessing we're done with that now. All right.
The magic map is made of thin leather and has lifelike drawings of the islands on its uneven surface.
I forgot I had the eye icon selected, and I was like, oh god, why is something happening to the map? Is it crumbling?
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Oh, we made so many maps today. Hello, friend.
A little fawn is feeding on a grassy hillock near the sea. The fawn is too busy eating to pay attention to Alexander.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll save.
I forgot, what's your objective here?
Well, our main objective is to get past this archer gate.
Oh, right, because you have a shield now.
Yeah. Let's replace this middle catacombs. Beast gate. Yeah, mostly we just want to explore this island further. The ferryman suggested we meet the leaders of each island, which we have not done on the Isle of the Beast yet.
Right.
Alexander decides to pass through the gate, preparing the shield just in case.
Just in case.
The magic arrow completely shatters the shield.
Oh, geez.
Good thing the arrow didn't hit Alexander.
All right. We got it.
With the gardener gone, Alexander can see that the garden plot is hardly more than a fresh patch of dirt.
And that's all you need, really.
A delicate gazebo made of white painted pine and overgrown with rose vines leads north into what appears from here to be a garden.
Okay.
Alexander walks forward to step onto the gazebo. But the rose hedges on either side of the path, sensing an intruder's presence, reach out their vines and blend together. The path is blocked.
Stab?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a little dagger, right? I don't know how well that would work here, but I'm gonna try.
Stab it with your
The
girl
hedges
knife.
have grown magically together to block the path north. The dagger isn't strong enough to cut through the magical hedges.
Do you still have your tinderbox?
Interesting thought.
Don't start forest fires.
Good advice.
It's green. It wouldn't really burn.
What else do we have at the shop? We have nightingale, flute, and a paintbrush.
I keep wondering, like, whenever you go over the spells that you have ingredients for, the magic paint, do you know what you need magic paint for? Not yet.
I mean, I think we can... Is this the right book?
Alexander is carrying a book from the bookshop. The cover says, Ye Old Spell Book.
I think the spell suggests we can paint whatever we want, and it will come to life.
Okay.
Apply to blank surface with artist brush is kind of all it says.
Okay. That
Bring to life what I think. Make it real what I draw.
Blank surface suggests that they mean for you to paint it on, like, a wall or something.
Right. It's hard not to, like, read about this and imagine a, like, Looney Tunes ass paint a hole in the wall and it becomes a real hole.
But I'm assuming that painting over the vines would not be the intended solution.
Yeah, that doesn't seem likely to be the solution here. But I'm not positive. Also, I guess we gotta go to the River Styx before we can
right.
finish this spell. We don't have any complete spells at this point. We met the Oracle, so we can cross that off. Still need a disguise for the castle. We're keeping an eye out for mint. The queens on the Isle of Wonder said their singing stone was stolen by the... When I was in the Minotaur's lair... there was something hanging, like, there's like this altar thing, right? And there was like something hanging from one side, like it looked kind of like a stone or something to me, like maybe an amulet or something like that. And I was like, is that a thing I need to interact with? But then it didn't seem like the game ever gave me an opportunity to interact with it. But now I'm wondering, oh shit, did I screw that up? But the other thing I'm not clear on is, this is the Isle of the Beast. I originally thought that the Minotaur and the Beast were one and the same, but that is clearly not the case.
Right.
Because the Minotaur was on a completely different island. But I still don't know if the queens were talking about the beast of this island or the Minotaur. And I do continue to worry that I might have missed something in that room. I don't really know. We did. Oh, wait, we didn't complete this. Oh, we completed the sentence for the dangling participle. Or it completed the sentence? I don't know. We figured that out anyway. Okay, so I don't know what to do right now. Maybe let's go back to the Isle of the Crown and poke around. Or the Isle of Wonder, but I think we'll start with Crown. I feel like it's quite possible something new will happen at this point.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Yeah, Roberta did say we'd miss a bunch of stuff, but we'll do our best to not miss too much. Oh, huh.
What's up?
Was this always here?
I don't know.
Isle of the Mists, and then there's like a sort of faint island down here. I honestly can't remember if it was there before.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Can I just go there? What?
I mean, it makes sense that it would appear after the Oracle tells you it exists. And I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't be able to just go there with
From
your
the
magic map.
northeast come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if it was there before or not, but I'm assuming that it wasn't, and it appeared after you learned that it existed.
Right. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but also, like, it kind of doesn't.
Sure.
Oh, dang. I ran out of paper again.
Oh, man.
And can you get me another sheet of paper?
If I must.
I'm sorry. I thought surely I had enough here.
From the northeast come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
But then we had the catacombs, 2 entire pages worth. I've got lots of space here. It's possible I could cram 2 islands in one, but...
For a second, I thought you were telling me I did not actually need to
Oh,
do that.
no, sorry. I'm just mostly talking to fill up space. How's everybody doing?
From the northeast come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
I'm a little spooked out by this island.
It's a little spooky.
Thank you, thank you.
While I'm up, I guess I might as well move the oven racks around in preparation for pizza night.
Okay. Very excited about pizza night.
From the northeast come the sounds of
believe-
mysterious drums and chanting.
And Secret Crush is busting out her less common all-out pan pizza recipe, which is much fancier than her usual standard pizza recipe.
From the northeast come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
Okay. Let's do a quick save. Isle of the Mists. So I'm just going to review what we know of this island. Get counsel from the druids.
Northeast
They're
come
on
the
a
sounds of mysterious drums and
hidden
chanting.
island. Narrator keeps interrupting me.
Just really wants you to be aware of the drum sound, I guess.
The book had some stuff to say, like... Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. Okay.
From the east come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting. A communal fire pit occupies a place of honor in the center of the little village. The fire pit, naturally enough, contains coal. The coals are cold. That's odd, because Alexander definitely smells the smoke of an open fire close by.
Okay. Got my hopes up for a second there because we do need some embers. But it looks like this is not the place to get them. Can we just take some coal? You never know.
Could you rekindle the embers?
Good question.
Alexander reaches into the fire pit and takes a lump of coal.
Okay.
From the east come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
What's going on here?
A wooden-handled scythe hangs against a bearskin on one of the tree houses. From the east come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
Can we steal it?
Alexander takes the scythe.
It seemed notable that we didn't get any points for taking the coal. And we didn't get any points for that either. I don't know. I honestly can't remember now if we've
East come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
previously gotten points for just taking an item. Maybe we don't generally get points until we actually use an item.
A bearskin hangs on the trunk of one of the tree houses. The coarse brown fur looks warm, if a bit flea-bitten.
Can we take that?
Alexander's adventures are keeping him quite warm enough as it is. He has no need for the bearskin. The doors to the tree houses are bolted, and Alexander doesn't want to intrude into the private dwellings uninvited.
Okay.
From the east come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting.
What is this little...
A horned animal skull is on display in the center of the village. Based on its central location, it may perhaps serve as ceremonial protection against danger.
Okay. Can we take it?
Alexander can think of less desirable things to carry around than that animal skull, but not
Like a
many.
human skull.
He decides to leave it alone.
I mean...
I mean, you know, he's already got one skull in his pocket. Two skulls would be
The way
creepy.
north is blocked by impenetrable forest.
Oh. Okay. Oh, there's a path over this way, it looks like. Ah. Oh.
Alexander is frozen at the spectacle before him. Robed figures are gathered around a bonfire. Some mystical ceremony is taking place. But as to its purpose, Alexander has no clue.
This looks
Brothers, look.
bad.
Uh-oh. Alexander's been seen.
This must be the foreigner we were warned about. How appropriate that he should come during our rain festival.
Oh.
Place him in the sacrificial cage.
Oh.
I must rescue the princess!
There's an ancient druid saying, a man who would save others must first save himself.
Alexander is pushed into the confining wicker cage.
I was just wondering if this is kind of a Wicker Man situation. And then they gotta go and say that the cage is explicitly made of wicker.
The cage is swung out over the bonfire. Alexander starts to feel a little warm.
First of all, we can get some embers from there if we survive this.
The bottom of the cage is getting uncomfortably hot.
We might need a spell before we do this, huh?
Alexander is
Certainly
getting
seems that way.
really hot.
They said it was a rain
Mercifully,
ceremony, and
Alexander
don't you have
passes out
a...
from the heat before the first
a
tongues of
spell to
flame
make
ignite
rain?
the wicker.
Yeah, we need 3 types of water for that, though, and we only have the one at the moment.
Tickets only. Next.
That was a bit too hot to handle. Alexander should have been better prepared.
Yeah. I agree. So for the make rain spell, we need salt water not from the sea. For me, first thing that comes to mind there is tears. Right?
Yeah.
And there are those babies' tears, upsetting plant creatures on the Isle of Wonder. So perhaps we can get their tears somehow?
Perhaps.
And then falling water.
Have you encountered a waterfall anywhere?
Not that I can think of. I'm trying to think if we've seen any, like, any sort of dripping water.
Right.
Or anything. The other thing is, I don't know what to put the baby's tears in. As we previously discovered, drinking from the little bottle of milk we have just seems to discard the bottle.
Right.
Our cup's full of ooze now.
Have you tried giving the baby's tears any milk?
Oh, an interesting thought. Let's try that. Regardless, I don't think we're ready for the Isle of the Mists yet. Oh, but we should go back and grab those items. Coal and scythe. Somehow? There we go.
From the east come the sounds of mysterious. Alexander reaches into the fire pit.
It made a little chime. Does that chime not mean you got points?
Alexander takes the scythe.
I didn't hear the standard points chime anywhere.
Okay. I heard like a little chime. I'm not sure if it is the points chime.
I heard something that I think was just some music.
Okay.
I mean, I could understand thinking it sounds like a sort of chime. I don't...
It was like a very subtle little doo-doo.
Yeah.
But that's not the points chime?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that was a different
Alexander
sound.
pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
How do we help that clam? We don't have anything. No. Oh, scythe for the vines
What vines? Which vines?
on the Isle of the Beast. That'll definitely work. Oh, it's time to wrap up. We got all these things to try. Okay. Let's try this. There's our points chime.
Gives one of the baby's tears a bottle of milk. The other baby's tears seem to resent Alexander's gift for some reason.
So now all the other ones are crying. But how do we get their tears?
What a grip. The baby is not at all willing to let go of that milk bottle.
Huh. Oh, what's this?
Alexander picks up the bottle.
I don't have my headphones on. What was it?
It's a tiny bottle.
An empty
The
bottle?
little bottle contains some sort of potion and bears a label saying, "Drink me." That's rather forward of it.
It's a little bottle that has a potion in it, and it says "Drink me."
Okay.
The table has been there. The potion was not there.
Interesting.
We had a similar issue. This chair has always been here. At one point, a
Right.
teacup suddenly appeared on
That's
it.
right. What happened with the teacup? I can't remember.
It's full of swamp ooze now.
Right.
Let's see what happens when we drink it.
What in the Alice in Wonderland is this gonna
Alexander
do?
decides to swallow the potion in the bottle labeled "Drink Me" to see what happens. Suddenly, his vision fades to black. His lungs become too heavy to breathe. His heartbeat slows.
Eh? Did the bottle have a twinkle?
Apologies for the flashing without any warning.
Beats no more. Suddenly, his heart takes a lurch, then beats strong.
Huh.
His chest heaves like that of a newborn. His vision clears, and Alexander feels fine.
Phew. For a minute there, I thought, what if someone else had seen me and thought, zounds.
Zounds indeed. Hello, Sven. Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna back up because I think. Oh,
Are you supposed to
we
fake?
still have it.
Are you supposed to fake your death at some other point in time?
I think so.
The little bottle contains some sort of potion and bears a label saying, "Drink me." That's rather forward of it.
Okay, so we have multiple uses. It's nice of the game to let us use it incorrectly once. Gonna Romeo somebody. My first thought was maybe this is a way to get to the land of the dead without dying. It could be correct, but I don't know. It seemed like if this was a way to get to the land of the dead,
But you
we would have gone there.
Right.
We still don't have a way to collect these babies' tears. At least we have, like, I feel confident now this is how we get salt water that's not from the sea. We just need to figure out how to collect it. I mean, this is a container, right? Can't hurt to try.
Alexander collects some of the baby's tears in the old hunter's lamp.
Nice. Okay. Shoot. So now we just need falling water for that spell. Falling water. I'm trying to think if we've been anywhere that's had any... Well, we can make further progress on the Isle of the Beast now, so that might help. Okay. Are we done with the milk now? Should I grab another milk? Let's see what the game does if I try.
Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush.
Infinite milk hacks.
Apparently, the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing that close. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Okay, time to make use of our scythe. Good thing that statue only had one arrow.
Alexander walks forward to step onto the gazebo. But the rose hedges on either side of the path, sensing an intruder's presence, reach out their vines and blend together. The path is blocked.
Hope this works.
Alexander wields the scythe, determined to get past the magical rose hedges. The leaves fly as Alexander tries to cut the branches faster than they can grow back together. He sees light. He's through.
Whoa.
Who dares enter Beast's garden?
My name is Alexander. I didn't mean to disturb your private garden.
No.
I just hacked my way in here with a blade.
You could hardly have accidentally broken through the 3 enchanted traps of the Isle of the Beast.
I suppose it is simply my nature to break through enchanted traps.
You must be a prince then. I know the nature of princes all too well. This face you see before you is hideous, is it not?
Well, for the face of a beast, it is really quite noble.
Ha! I'm glad you like it, for you will soon own one just like it.
Oh, cool.
I too was once a pretty prince, caring for nothing but adventuring and rescuing fair maidens. But I rankled one too many evil hags. One dark night, I was turned into this obscenity you see before you, warped in shape and trapped on this enchanted island over 100 years ago.
Surely there is a way off this island.
Oh, surely. You broke in, did you not? And yet think, where would I go clad so eloquently as I am with this silk and this pelt? You see, my prison is also my sanctuary. You are the first to break through the barriers in lo these many years. That is, except for the druids who stole my heirloom coat of arms.
Oh.
If there's any way I can help.
Help? You? I'm afraid you don't understand. The enchanted barriers were a warning and protection for you more than for me. Your prize for forcing your way past them is to join me in this dire life. By the laws of this sorcery, you are doomed to be trapped in the form of a beast. Your reward for broaching this garden is to be my slave. A slave as beastly as I am. You have only a few hours of humanity left.
But that's not possible. There must be some way to break the enchantment. Spells always have a weakness somewhere.
The enchantment you are under is tied to my own. Oh, the sorceress left me a way out. But I'm afraid it was only her final bitter joke. You see, I need only find a maiden to join me here, to share my castle, my life, willingly. Take another look at me. You can't help but admire the hag's terrible cruelty and cunning.
I shall try to find such a maid, for Casima's sake.
Truly? How determined of you. I personally would not waste my last few hours as a man on an impossible errand. However, you may do as you please. I give you this token. It's my family ring, and the only heirloom I have left. If perchance you should... if you think you have found a maid...
I shall give her this ring.
Yes, she must accept it of her own free will. By doing so, she accepts me. Not that you shall find anyone, mind you. Your time is short. Count the minutes on your fingers while your fingers you have, pretty prince. Your master will await you.
Okay.
The first candidate, only candidate really, who comes to mind is that
Right.
servant girl who's always getting yelled at.
Right.
Kind of Cinderella situation.
Okay. So, we must wait in suspense until next we are able to continue. That's interesting. I don't know, like... Did you say we have a few hours?
I really don't know if he said a specific...
I'm curious how that works. Like, is it possible to take too long from this point and you become the beast and you can't continue?
Maybe.
But we'll try it next time. But we've got saves in case we need to back up before we came here. But yeah, the lady that's in a Cinderella situation seems like a good bet. She's clearly not living her best life there. And I feel like there's a good chance that's the correct thing. We also need a strand of a pure maiden's hair. I don't know if that's going to be the same maiden, but it seems like a good bet. We made so many maps today, we might as well look at them. Also, Kitty Trouble Games, hello and welcome. I have been making maps through all of the King's Quest games as I've played them, and it's been a lot of fun. So there's the Isle of the Beast. Let's see. We didn't do too much on the Isle of Wonder today. The Isle of the Mists. Isle of the Crown has pretty much stayed the same for a bit here. And then there's the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, which I think we're done with now. We went into the catacombs. This was the first level of catacombs. And then we went down from here into the second level and defeated the Minotaur. Quite a bit of progress today, if I do say so myself. And we got a whole lot of notes about things to do. We need to make our way to the Line of the Dead at some point. Rescue the former king and queen, it seems like. We need to solve the beast's curse. We now have... So, the beast has...
Alexander feels a strange sensation come over him.
Oh.
His skin begins to itch.
Okay, so it is time-based.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of time either.
I feel like he kept saying, like, count the minutes on your fingers while you still have them and things like that.
Uh-huh.
What?
What?
The beast you could do?
What?
Fascinating. Okay.
Wee-wee
is
sounds.
That? Yeah. It's a weird dog. It's a weird kind of dog. It's got, I think, a long tongue. Oh, you can't see my pointer. Okay. Here we go. I think that's its tongue.
Huh.
Dino donkey. I'm glad we got to see that. Okay, so I saved pretty quickly after the conversation ended, so hopefully that'll give us enough time to try to do something. Oh. Okay. Thanks y'all for hanging out. So I'm gonna hit my schedule button, but I do have some important schedule notes. Unsecret Crush.
That's right.
We'll be streaming Monday. Persona 3.
Probably.
Time to get back to Persona.
Yes.
And then on Tuesday, I will be playing more Gabriel Knight 3. But then after that is a little bit of a question mark for a bit.
We may take a break while my mom visits. However, my mom broke her glasses earlier today, so when she actually comes to visit is contingent on how long it takes her to get her glasses fixed.
Right. And as you can perhaps see, our streaming room is also our guest room. So
this is our gamer's daybed.
even if we wanted to stream while her mom is visiting, that would not really be an option.
I want my mom to have a nice, quiet, private place.
We spent a lot of perhaps too much work setting up a nice little streaming desk that we can also rotate to put out of the way. And
it's not like we spent that much money on the desk.
Oh, no, I meant more effort than money. So yeah, we will move our streaming desk off to the side, so this is a more comfortable guest room. So we'll have to tear everything down for a little bit.
I don't think my mom has ever played a Sierra game. She was big into Tetris when I was a kid. And these days she is a crossword puzzle person, a gamer.
Yeah, I was going to say, does anybody do crossword streams? That might actually be kind of fun, to be honest.
I don't think she would be into it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, so probably won't be a stream, King's Quest stream next week, but I will share on our Discord. I'm
pretty sure my mom knows about Sudoku, and I also am pretty sure that she doesn't like it because everyone in my family shares a general distaste for numbers.
Yeah. And of course, you can follow me here or on Twitter if you want to know if you want a different option for keeping up on schedules. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But probably no King's Quest stream next week, unfortunately. Also, I wanted to say I am hoping to do another impromptu Playdate stream at some point, but I don't know exactly when that will be. There's a chance that if Unsecret Crush's mom's plans are delayed a little bit, I'll be able to do a Playdate stream maybe on Wednesday or something, but we'll see.
TLDR, schedule, ?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But thanks again for hanging out. We'll see who we can raid here. Find somebody playing something fun. Hope. What's this? Okay. Too many options, perhaps. Let's go see Ocadrian. He's currently playing PlanetSide 2, which I'm not familiar with. But he's also been doing some Playdate streams recently. And the streams are always a good time. So we'll hop on over there and say hello. And so yeah, we'll see y'all around sometime. Like we said, our next couple streams are on our normal schedule, and after that we'll let you know. Hope y'all have a good weekend and see you around. Bye.
Bye.